this collapse. The compass doesn't lie when it's holding me.
I'm Ash from U.S.S, and I'm chatting with livemusicTO. I'm gonna eat this.
Walking through the shame of this relapse. The mirror doesn't lie when it's holding me. I'd love a little faith with this afternoon and come with me. Oh, I know I'm holding on to a ghost.
I was working in a paper factory and I was not happy with the state of my being, so I decided to become the director, the writer, and the actor of my own life. I wrote a script and I'm now living it. That was 5 years ago. I gave the title of this character Ubiquitous Synergy Seeker. We are all, in some way, shape, or form, Ubiquitous Synergy Seekers, because everywhere we go, we are trying to find something. The reality is that we are trying extremely hard to be what we already are. My life has changed because I changed my socks way less now. Yeah, sorry, I just gotta freshen up for the interview. Radio, local media, the buzz, the bees, the hornets, the wasps. You know, picking up pollen and taking it to new places.
It was just amazing watching how if 102.1 The Edge in Toronto plays your single 7 times a day and you have no record label and it's just two guys with, I guess what they perceive to be like an interesting story, or we just look different, we sounded different, how completely out of the woodwork you've got like bloggers, like independent newspapers, major media, television stations, like people just start showing up, and for us to just like be like friendly about it, polite, positive, and just we were just ourselves, and it's just the media fed off that like so heavily in the beginning, and it's still like, you know, as time passes it continues to evolve, and it's just we maintain those relationships. At the end of the day, like music, entertainment, movies, film, whatever, art, it really is about relationships, because like really what you have left when, I mean, even if you're the biggest band in the world or like the smallest, hippest band, or like a band that just like has some popularity in the local market, like you have to be kind to everybody.
Because we came from sports, you're always trying to be a champion. It's something to strive towards. It's convergency at its finest form to get to the top. And music doesn't provide such a luxury. It's hard to figure out what your goals are in terms of how you determine if you're successful or not. If somebody tells you that they decided not to commit suicide because they listened to your song, that's a pretty amazing thing. N-A-O-K means the most to me. When I first started writing that song, it was at a time in my life when I was like pretty much the most vulnerable I could be. And I wrote it standing beside the dumpster in the loading dock of the factory I was working at. And I started singing it out of like pure optimistic frustration. I think that music in a lot of ways is melodic empathy. And when we stood here today and played N.A.O.K., I felt like the most remarkable melodic empathy was taking place, because so many people could relate to that sentiment.
You know, the initial feedback we saw was, oh, it's different, it's bigger, it's different. It's not as like alternative, but like, it's still a U.S.S. But then as time went on, like we sort of like, from what I've gathered, like even with social media, we've transcended the initial, you know, I would even say like the initial paradigm that we created. And it's like now we've moved into this echelon just within, you know, like the parameters of what we've created. It actually like it's like we've created a home for it that now we can build off of and still go further with it, bigger, smaller, maybe more alternative, whatever. Like it just ended up being a blessing. And like luckily, like, you know, we had like the songs were well received and people thought they were good enough that we've gone to where we've gone, and we're gonna keep going. So.
Call and say